I want you to tell me what you think is the biggest heart of the issue. You ready to hear this?
So a lot of it has to do with the energy that we have, that we don't bring every single day. Me, I'm a passionate, energetic person. I always have to have that. If I don't, it's going to be a problem for me. And just playing with some heart, like we just need to play with some heart. How come we can't throw the ball for more than 20 yards? How come we don't attempt or try to throw the ball for more than 20 yards? Those are questions that we have to figure out. But for now, I would say it's our heart, it's our energy, it's what we bring when we line up before the game. All of that, it counts. If you have a window this big to maximize your full potential and something's holding you back from doing it, that's more frustrating to me than anything else. I just want to be able to be the very best that I can, and I don't feel like I'm given an opportunity to be the very best that I can.
My personal immediate reaction, coincidentally, was my same personal immediate reaction when Kristaps Porzingis was traded. 2 times, and I'm not a napper, 2 times I've taken afternoon naps this year.
2 times?
Both times I woke up with buzzes ringing to find out that stars have been traded. Yep. My immediate reaction was, why can't a New York sports fan take a nap in peace?
Here's the deal.
Yeah.
The New York Giants, you can look at it that way, Max, but based on their present circumstances, I don't blame them for doing what they did one bit. I don't like it because I do think that Odell Beckham Jr. is a transcendent talent, but I don't blame them. And here's why I don't blame them. You got a coach in Pat Shermer who shouldn't be the head coach. You got a GM in Dave Gettleman who shouldn't be the GM. You've got a quarterback in Eli Manning who shouldn't be the quarterback. All of this is obvious. Right now, if they would have let Eli Manning go today, they would save about $17 million in cap space. But you're still going to keep them because you're caught up in the emotional connection between Eli Manning with ownership.
Talk it, walk it like I talk it. You walk it like I talk it. 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 Hey, walk it like I talk it.
This is a Silk exclusive.
Welcome to another episode of Words, Music, Dance. I'm your host as always, Paul the Bull. As you can tell, my voice a little bit off, got a sore throat. Pause if applicable, you know what I mean? Not trying to, but got the halls, got the tea on deck, trying to get a little better, but the conversation continues, the show goes on. Got to keep it rocking for everybody that's watching on YouTube, listening on their phones, mobile devices, and I do it for y'all. All right, and got the homie John back.
Hola, people. You want to know only Big John?
Don't let me hang.
My fault.
All right.
How you doing?
John's here. I'm going to let him do most of the talking. He like to talk a lot anyway, so that works. Yeah, so that works. It was a slow news week, but we got a couple things if you just want to get off our chest and say what's on our mind. First off, the Avengers Endgame new trailer, second trailer, whatever, just dropped last week.
Yeah.
Before that, the week before, Captain Marvel the movie came out. You seen it?
Yep.
You said you saw it twice?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's start with Captain Marvel first. And before I go into that, like we always say, everybody that's watching, comment below, like, share your thoughts, subscribe, share the link with your friends. You know what it is. But Captain Marvel, what were your thoughts on the movie?
I mean, I like that. I like what they did with it. Like, I thought it was overall a good film. Mm-hmm. We've mentioned this before. Like, I think Marvel's done a great job at making characters that no one gives a fuck about actually care about. Like I think Captain Marvel's pretty dope. Like the character itself, I never really cared before, and I don't know. I knew who Captain Marvel / Miss Marvel and the different mixes of. Like I knew who that was, but I never cared. Like it's whatever. And the fact that they do that again, like they did with Ant-Man and so many others, you make them care. And like they're doing it with the B Squad. Like it's phenomenal. But I thought the movie was good. It was entertaining. It had that MCU fucking comedy / action, cool vibe, good music. Whenever they did a throwback because it was based in the '90s, so you got the '90s cars, you got the blockbuster video, the homage to those things. That's pretty awesome. I did find it. I don't know if there was a reason, but I did find it weird that in the Blockbuster thing, like there's like 3 Schwarzenegger homage, they homage to. They shoot Schwarzenegger's head off in True Lies, and behind her when she's walking, everything else is blurred except for 2 Arnold Schwarzenegger movies, Last Action Hero, and I want to say it was Commando, if I remember correctly. I just thought that was interesting. I had peeped that. I peeped it a little bit the first time. The second time when I resaw it, I was like, oh shit.
Maybe because he was like a big action hero of the 90s. Yeah,
it might be. I thought it was pretty cool though.
Right, and she had a Terminator moment when she took the dude's bike. So
true.
You know what I mean? So,
I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought the film was dope overall.
Yeah, I thought it was a good movie. Thought it could have been better. I liked the fact that it didn't do the. And again, pardon my voice. I thought that it could have. It what it did do well was it wasn't a forced love story as most action movies try to have. It gave the backstory through flashbacks, so it wasn't the typical nobody gets a power then becomes super. So I did like those points of it. I think it just fell short on a lot of things it tried to do. And like you said too, the difference to me between Marvel and DC is you care about the characters as humans or on a personal level. In this movie, you don't really get her human side too much. You get it in a few pictures and some flashbacks, but you really don't. She's just super through the whole movie. So when she gets her big super moment, it just feels like she's been doing that. So you never get that hero rise moment. And to me, I don't think it hit as much as it would in some other movies. But I did like it. For it to be one of the lower tier MCU movies out of 21 movies, that says a lot. Yeah. Even when they not fail, but they miss, so to speak, it's still a good movie. If we didn't compare it to the other 20 movies, you know what I mean?
I need a few more watches, but I think also just 2 watches alone, I still have it up there against quite a few of the ones. Like to me, it's not the bottom of the barrel for MCU, but
to me it is. To me, like I said, 21 movies, so you figure 7. I got it in the lower 7.
I probably agree with that. Yeah, lower 7, but I definitely have at my bottom. Yeah. Off the top of my head, Thor 1 is on my bottom already. Like
I like Thor 1.
No, I'm not a fan. I also honestly, a lot of people hated Iron Man 3, but actually, I didn't mind Iron Man 3.
Yeah, I didn't like Iron Man, and again, I think Iron Man 3 would be a better movie if not a part of the MCU. I think it's a standalone.
If Ben Kingsley would have just been the real Mandarin and just left it at that, and that would have fixed it as well.
Right.
But I just think that it doesn't get it's not a lot of people that's in their bottom, and to me it's not the bottom. Yeah. Oh man, that Stanley cameo, that shit ready to bring a tear to my eye. Yeah. Like I said, I don't care if I spoil it because it's mad late, so you should have seen it already.
Right.
By the time this airs, is 2 weeks out.
Yeah.
So it's your fault. But the beginning, instead of doing the traditional Marvel, flashes of the characters and stuff, they did all Stanley cameos, and that shit was beautiful. So.
And it's right at the beginning, so trailers in, curtains open, and you expecting the typical, character intro, and it's just all Stanley cameos, and people, like you said, the people in the crowd applauded. It was definitely a good moment.
That shit was phenomenal. And then, like I said, Kevin Feige put up a tweet or whatever. He was like, that they did in the beginning because they want to celebrate his life and not more in depth for the ending thing. Because that's what I expected. Like a black screen ending Stan Lee, maybe a little tribute. But, and then even his cameo in the film was fucking phenomenal with the mall rats and the homage to Kevin Smith. His first cameo, they did a great job with it overall. Definitely. I thought Captain Marvel was dope overall. It was definitely a good film. If that's one of the bottom 7 Marvel films, it speaks volumes of how good the Marvel series is. Marvel
Indeed. And
catch up DC.
And as far as money that's making, some of the biggest money making MCU movies are the ones in the bottom. Like I think Iron Man 3 is like one of the top grossing ones. And to me that's in the bottom.
Because they fooled you with that Mandarin shit, I'm telling you.
Right.
I remember watching the trailer and just hearing the voice, "You'll never see me coming," and you're like, "Oh my god, it's gonna be great." I watched that shit in Puerto Rico. This is how bad it was. I was on vacation real quick. I was on vacation, but that movie to me, at the time Marvel Impact was so big, I was like, "Yo, for one of these days on vacation, I gotta go see this fucking film."
Right.
When I watched it when I was in Puerto Rico.
People schedule their vacations around the release because they usually typically do the May, the July, you know what I'm saying? So people plan.
Right now, I got a tattoo appointment and then the tickets for Avengers.
Yeah.
I got it for a weekend. I wasn't sure what I'll be doing, so I'm literally buying tickets Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday to see which one I can make.
Right.
I'm trying to make at least 2.
And before we go into the Avengers Endgame trailer, one of the conversations we had was about the comparison, which was inevitable, between Captain Marvel the movie and Captain Marvel and Wonder Woman. What are your thoughts on the comparison between those two?
I thought, like, almost all the time, the Marvel movies were more fun to watch. So I think Captain Marvel was definitely more fun to watch. Mind you, I've seen Wonder Woman twice. I've seen Captain Marvel twice. Captain Marvel just came out. Wonder Woman, I've owned the movie since it came out, and I watched it in theaters. And I had no reason to see it a second time. I did think Wonder Woman was one of the better DC films. But when you compare the two, I think Captain Marvel was more fun to watch overall. But I do think Wonder Woman was a better, I guess, it's hard to say acted or directed movie because it was a more serious film. So obviously the acting was a different level because it was serious versus comedy. But when I watch films over and over again, except for very few films like Shawshank Redemption or something like that, I usually watch them for the fun factor. And so I definitely could see me watching Captain Marvel more, especially when if it hits Netflix. You know, that's one of the things that, you know, Black Panther, fucking Thor Ragnarok, I throw on when I'm ready to go to sleep. I want to stay and watch the movie. But it's one of the things I can watch numerous times. But Wonder Woman, I probably got maybe another 1 or 2 views if someone forced me to watch it.
I feel the same way. I feel like, you know, to me, Captain Marvel was the better movie. They're both good, not great in my opinion. But I think Captain Marvel was the better. I can see myself watching it more frequently. I expected both of them to be a little bit better. It is good to see, you know, female-led characters in the superhero genre that's becoming bigger and bigger.
Especially the power part. Like, it's not like Black Panther's a dope character, and it was good to see, like, you know, the black superhero and stuff. But as a character, he's not as powerful as some of the other characters. Whereas Wonder Woman is like some of the cream of the crop. Captain Marvel,
when he ran with Captain America, and you know, it was good to see, like, oh, he's just as fast as him. Like, you know what I'm saying? So that was them showing that. But Captain Marvel.
That's what I'm saying. Like, comic book wise though, Black Panther would still get his ass whooped by a lot of other characters. Where for DC and for Marvel, Captain Marvel was kind of like towards the top of the top tier powers.
Speaking of which, in that movie, she's super overpowered. You think they're gonna tone her down, or
I don't know, because here's the thing. To get real comic book geek real quick, she's super overpowered compared to the normal people from the Earth and shit. But when you compare them to like the Galactuses and, like, you know, the Thanos, she's around that same level or lower. So she could definitely get ass whooped by Thanos. But her single handedly is not gonna take out Thanos. I can tell you that much. But power wise, she definitely is more powerful than people like Captain America. They think that, like, the Earth based superheroes, it's more about their heart and their will to do things versus, you know, the celestial type superheroes.
And to me, that's why I always preferred Marvel.
Using big words.
I always preferred. Oh, celestial.
I'm in there. I got word of the day calendar. I pull the thing like, oh, celestial Tuesday. I got you.
But to me, I always appreciated Marvel characters more than DC characters, because with the DC characters, they become godlike and stay there. So you're used to just.
That's why Superman sucks.
Right. Once he's become Superman, you don't really care about Clark Kent. You don't really care about the alter ego. With the Marvel characters, the personal backstory always plays a part in what they go through.
Bro,
the human side is always a part of their struggle.
People who've seen any of the trailers for Avengers, if you know anything about the comics at all, you know why Hawkeye's about to be what he is.
Right.
So you're like, oh shit, you care, because Hawkeye's he's not even nowhere near a main character in the Avengers technically. He wasn't even in the like he's not a main character at all, but you care and you're like, oh shit. Something happened. Anyone who knows the story knows what happened. I'm not trying to ruin that because it ain't out yet.
The snap, you know the snap.
But but what causes him to be Ronin?
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. The heart of it, and that's the difference between the whole Martha.
Why did you say that name?
It's his mother's name. It's his mother's name.
Compared to Civil War, where it hurt when Tony found out that Steve knew that Bucky killed his parents.
Tony. Did you know? I didn't know it was him. Shouldn't. I just did you know? Yes.
You felt it. You like, damn, they about to fight?
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, now you're fighting. Like, you know, the heart of the characters and the backstory plays a part into the overall story. And segue now, the Avengers Endgame trailer also came out last week, and that movie's coming in about 5 weeks. The trailer came from out of nowhere. I expected the trailer. They usually do the trailers like a month before tickets go on sale. Then they say tickets on sale now, and that's when the rollout begins. This one's a little earlier than that. Might be because of the hype of the first weekend of Captain Marvel. So they like get that ball rolling for the second week. If you didn't see it, guess what? She's in this trailer. So now you know I gotta go see that movie now to see why, you know, what she's doing.
That's probably definitely what it was.
Right.
Go see
Which is smart marketing. Again, like I said, some of their worst reviewed films are their highest grossing because Iron Man 3 came right after Avengers, the first Avengers. So it's like the hype was the hype train was still rolling. What's next? Gotta go see it. You know, with her, it was with Captain Marvel. You know, the hype of that movie and things. So it's like it was the first movie of the year, right before Avengers. So it's like gotta go see it. So Avengers Endgame is the next one in the story. This trailer shows a lot without giving anything away. What's your thoughts on the trailer?
I mean, I like the trailer though. Like, I mean, totally. And then they put out another quote again. Like I seen, cause they already showed more of the film this time, and then they put out another drop saying this is still only within the first few minutes of the film, like first 15, 20 minutes.
Which I don't believe.
Well, yeah, probably not. But still, like that spin is good. The only thing I did find interesting was that I don't remember her real name or her character name in the movie, so I'm gonna go with Michonne. But Michonne from Walking Dead, Okoye. They show her, but they only show her in a flashback that we already seen. They don't actually show her do anything new in the film. So I'm hoping she has a bigger role because she was a badass character.
I would think so. She's on the poster, and they made a big deal about her name not being there. But to me, I never look at the names. She's on the poster. Yeah. That alone, if let's say she did die from this movie, but she's on the poster. That poster lives on.
I did think it was weird that the flashback she didn't have like the trailer. She didn't have an actual new scene. She only had that. Found a little weird overall, but I mean, I loved it.
She may play a part because Black Panther also was dusted away in the decimation. Shuri, his sister, didn't, I don't think, but they saying she might play a part. So Okoye might also play a part. So putting her on the poster, I think to me that means something. Because even Hawkeye wasn't on the last poster; he wasn't in the movie at all. So for her to be on this poster, she's got to be in there somewhere. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
I know what you mean exactly. Yeah. No, I like overall. I thought like I said, the trailer looks good. I'm hyped for it. I mean, obviously, I was hyped anyway. Like,
of course.
In my opinion, Avengers, this one because of everything that happened, they could have dropped no trailer and it still would do easily over $1 billion. Like. Without a hint, just a poster, and it'd be a crazy poster. Like it'd be something like it's gonna do good regardless. I'm just hyped to see what Stanley's cameo is, obviously. So obviously I'm hyped for that. See where they take it, and then to understand what's gonna happen because as a fan of the films, but also knowing the way these movies work and their rollout plan for later on, most of our main or all of our main characters will either have a story arc ending or they will die. Like they're not gonna like the Captain America, Thor. From whatever we're understanding, is majority of their careers gonna be done.
Yeah, their contracts ended, and
the new people are gonna roll out. They're gonna do more Captain Marvel films, like Doctor Strange 2. They're gonna build that from there. Right. So I'm not sure what they're gonna do with it. Right. But now you get to see Marvel like, hey. Well, our B characters work. Well, here's some more B and some C characters, and let's see how this runs. Yeah. And we're gonna see how that works out. So I'm hyped to see how they spin that way because you have to like I just wonder. Obviously, everyone has their own theories. I wonder who we're gonna kill.
Million theories.
Comic book wise, you're supposed to kill Captain America.
Right.
Comic book wise, and it would make sense for Bucky to take over. Bucky because people love Bucky. They love the character who plays him. No one really cares. Like there's no one else to play Iron Man. So, but either way, I mean, I can imagine anyone who stays alive might make a cameo every now and then in the other films, but. The main people that we know for the last, 10, 11 years?
This will be the 11th year now, yeah.
The main characters we know won't be in the films going forward. It'll be all new characters and all new stuff, except for Black Panther, obviously Captain Marvel, Doctor Strange, Ant-Man.
That's the like I said, that's the biggest thing about Endgame is we don't know where it goes from here. All we know is Spider-Man comes out in July. We don't know, from there on, because usually they release the phases, and they say this movie's for the next 3-4 years. We don't know. We don't know what's happening after this year. We don't know what's coming, and what. I mean, we can guess what movies are coming. We don't know when.
I saw something about Sony planning 7 films or something like that, or 6 films.
Well, they plan more Venom verse.
It made enough.
Into the Spider-Verse sequels. And
okay. Yeah. So I thought they were just the Venom and Spider-Man Tom Holland kind of mix.
They have a partnership with Disney Marvel for Tom Holland. Yeah. So I don't know if they can just take him and say, hey, we gonna make some movies with him ourselves. I don't know if they can do that. I don't know. Truth, they agreed. Far From Home, from what I heard, fulfills their agreement.
So does Disney get them now, or does Fox still have them?
Fox still has them.
Not Fox.
Sony. Sony still has them.
Damn.
Yeah, because they're not letting them go. So
they got a real on Spider-Man though.
Sony has the production and distribution rights for Spider-Man. So they can do whatever they please. It was an agreement, it was a handshake between Sony and Marvel to even have him in the standalone movie universe and in the Avengers movies.
If I was Disney, I'd pay Tom Holland a lot of money. So if his contract's over, like, yo, tell me you're not playing the role again unless they have unless either we could share or I get him by myself.
Yeah.
But no, I just can't wait to see what happens with the universe, how they introduce it, and how they spin it off. Because I'm still gonna, I'm a huge fan.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people, I've seen a lot of critics also. Most of it years ago, they kind of fell and they understand now like this is here to stay.
Right.
But a lot of people were like, oh, well, it only has a certain amount of run, then comic books will be boring. As long as they keep doing different style movies with each character, it's never going to be, because it's a completely different movie.
Right.
Ant-Man movie is completely different than watching a Guardians of the Galaxy movie.
Right.
So you're watching a completely different movie, even though it's a superhero. To me, that's almost like saying, oh, well, if you watch Michael Myers, then Jason's not going to work.
Right.
Or Freddy's not going to work. Different characters, different movies, it's still going to work. So I can't wait to see what they do with it overall.
We talk about 10, 11 years worth of movies, 20-something movies in total. I don't think something like this has ever been done.
No, hell no.
And they all piggyback off each other. So like I said, the marketing promotion is literally, you see the last movie, you know something's gonna happen. I gotta go see the next one before they even do a trailer. Then they do the trailer and it gets even more hype.
And the thing is, even as a fan, so like for instance, Ant-Man, when the first Ant-Man was coming out, I wasn't hyped to see it. Two things made me want to go see it. One, I remember, to me, I thought it was mad funny, the scene where they were mad small fighting and Thomas the Train goes to hit him. I was like, yo, that looks pretty fun. Let me try that. And then I want to know where it connects. I need to know how it connects.
Right.
And that little connection piece is so important that even the casual fan might still go see the film versus the comic book fan who's definitely going to go regardless.
And those post-credit, mid-credit scenes, they factor that in. Because from the very first one, when Sam Jackson walked out as Nick Fury and talked at the end of the Iron Man movie, you're like, oh. He said, so it's like, and then they've kept that going. Their post-credit scenes tease you for what's to come and next, so it's like they daisy chain them up. So it's like, I gotta go see the next one now. I gotta go see the next one.
Exactly.
So it's like, but we just, like I said, we just don't know where it goes from here. We know Spider-Man is back already, so come back by then. We don't even know we still don't know what leads into that movie, and then after that movie, we don't know what's coming next. But I'm ready for the next movie.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Basically, I think what it all comes down to is that we agree that DC sucks.
But if you disagree, comment below. Let us know what you think. I don't think DC sucks. The DCEU failed, and I think now they're just making movies independently. Like they got a Joker movie coming out.
Anyone who knows me knows I love Batman and the Batman universe.
Yeah.
Besides that, the rest of DC could burn the flames and I wouldn't care. There's really no other character I
Aquaman did
care
pretty
about.
good. Wonder Woman got a sequel. That one did pretty good. So I said, but I don't think they're part of their EU anymore. I don't think they're part of the extended universe anymore.
No, yeah, because they know they can't do it.
Yeah, and a lot of people tried to fail. Universal tried to do a MonsterVerse. Now Godzilla and them
I have
got
no
like
interest in seeing that.
You don't see the Godzilla movie?
No.
Man,
I'm not trying to take a shot. I think this is really an age thing. I didn't grow up on Godzilla, breaking cardboard buildings and shit. So as I watched it, as I got older, watching like the original Gojira and shit, it's literally like a dude in a suit breaking cardboard buildings, and I just can't. I couldn't get into it.
But did you see the last Godzilla movie?
I did, and it was entertaining, but not enough for me to want to watch this one.
Okay.
And then with all so I'm just not hyped for it overall. It's just not my thing. Because I have like people who are a little bit. The reason I say age thing is because a lot of my friends are a little bit older than me. No,
calling me old.
Not at all.
I got you.
Black don't crack. You're beautiful.
You're right.
But nah. So the thing is, a lot of my friends are a little older than me. They're hype on the King of Monsters and all that stuff. And like I didn't grow up on that. The closest I ever got was like the Rampage game, Sega Genesis game, like Godzilla, King of Monsters.
Other than The Rock did that, and
well, that was Rampage. That was actual Godzilla.
King of Monsters. Because I was gonna say that movie did come out.
I didn't mind Rampage. It wasn't great, but it was The Rock, so it's entertaining. You can watch it. Although I always said I don't think The Rock has any bad films, but then I did watch the most recent one, and that was pretty bad.
The skyscraper one?
Yeah, that was terrible.
Yeah.
I tried to give him it was terrible.
Yeah.
Like The Rock still himself did his Rock thing, but it was just a terrible film.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to do a review from where it came out mad long ago, but I'm just saying I always said The Rock has no bad films because his films are at least even the bad ones are entertaining. Like The Rundown, I love that movie. It's so entertaining. I can still watch it. It's hilarious.
I got you.
But this film, Skyscraper, was just terrible. I finally watched it the other day.
Did you like King Kong? The one they did a couple years ago with half the Marvel characters in it. No. Sam Jackson was in it. Brie Larson was in it.
Oh man!
I think the character played Loki was in it. Like, it was mad Marvel characters.
So that film, just touch on it real quick. To me, that film, the first 40 minutes of them getting there, and all that was the most boring shit ever. It's boring. If you take I look at the 40-minute mark from there until the end, making it only an hour and a 40-minute movie. It's a great. It's not great, but it's a good film. Entertaining, is cool. But that first dry fucking 40 minutes. Listen, the only person who gets away with doing a dry 30 minutes is Tarantino. His script writing is so impactful that he can do that, and you could like Inglourious Basterds. The movie doesn't really start till 20 minutes in. Right. It's all dialogue, but you love it.
Right.
I mean, if you're a Tarantino fan like I am, like you're a big fan, like you love it. I remember I made a mistake of watching it like real quick. I left Rigo. I went to go watch it in the city with Quick and Christina. We went to go watch it at like 2 a.m. It's a 3-hour film, B.
Yeah.
Oh man, we fell asleep. And then I watched it on Blu-ray, and it's still. And I watched it again on 4K. It's still.
But but that's our thoughts on that. Again, let us know what y'all think. Comment. Are you looking forward to Endgame? How'd you feel about Captain Marvel? Does DC suck?
They do. I think their side parent, the Vertigo, like the Constantine, the fucking Sin City, like that is a way better thing.
They haven't done nothing recently though.
Not at all.
Yeah, they kind of because they were trying to focus on the extended universe, and they were trying to bring all that into.
What they need to learn is that nobody cares about their extended universe.
Well, no.
Literally, in my opinion,
people would have cared if I think they didn't do it right. They rushed into the team up. That was the difference. Like Iron Man came out in 2008. But we didn't get the Avengers until 2012. Man of Steel came out, and like 2 years later, 2 years later, it's Batman vs Superman. And after that, Justice League.
I can only speak for speak for myself, but like I remember as a kid growing up playing, and like when you're young, like 8, 9 years old, you play with your friends, like I'm Spider-Man, I'm this, like and you go back and forth. I remember a lot of Marvel characters. It was like X-Men, Iron Man, Captain America. Actually, no one cared about, but X-Men, Iron Man. You had like Spider-Man, different characters and people went in it. But with DC, it literally was usually the Flash. When I was younger, no one gave a fuck about Green Lantern. It was the Flash, Superman, Batman, and then Wonder Woman.
But I mean, even now, I'm just saying, as far as the movies go, they rushed into the team up part of it. If you introduce those characters, like we didn't care about Guardians of the Galaxy, we didn't care about Thor, we didn't care about a lot of those characters, but they were introduced to us, and so then the team up meant more. Like we've seen Guardians and Infinity War meet up with Iron Man and Spidey and them. It was look at they're all together, like what I'm saying. So
Peter Quill and Iron Man going back and forth.
Yeah, but we running on with the movies and stuff. Let's move on to sports real quick. The New York Giants made a big trade that I didn't see coming. I don't know if you expected it.
No.
The Giants traded away Odell Beckham, a first-round draft pick, a third-round draft pick, to the Cleveland Browns
to rebuild their fucking franchise.
Not the dude from Family Guy, but the real football Cleveland Browns, who now have Baker Mayfield at quarterback, Odell at receiver, Jarvis Landry at receiver. They picked up Kareem Hunt, who's on an 8-game suspension, but they already had a decent running back in Chubb. They have a solid defense.
They made the Browns an arguably good team. Yeah. Well, I mean, we got to see what the chemistry, because obviously chemistry matters.
Right.
You could throw any person, I mean, they're going to work well. You got to see the chemistry, but I didn't see this coming. I was surprised. So I thought it was hilarious. What I didn't get was like they sent him away, which to me, arguably, offensively, he's their best player. Eli is washed. He's been washed. I've said it forever. Eli's washed. I don't think Eli was ever an elite quarterback. He has 2 rings, but a team does that. That's not one person. And to be fair, he overthrew on both those games and got lucky with the catches. So let's not act like it was Eli who won those games.
Shout out to David Tyree, Plaxico Burress, no relation.
Shout out to that helmet. That helmet. That was anyway. And it's not me being a Giant hater. It's me talking real. I just never thought Eli Manning was an elite quarterback.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I mean, it's hard to put him in that category when he led the league in interceptions 3 times. He led the team to what was I'm pretty sure he led the team 2 years ago to their worst franchise record. Yeah, like 3 wins, like that.
And also, I don't remember any star ever getting sacked. My man got sacked.
What I mean,
he got sacked. There's a reason behind it, but he got sacked.
Well, yeah, but it's the offensive line, and
he got sacked.
There's a lot that goes into him getting sacked so much.
Name an elite quarterback who's been sacked.
You mean sacked a lot, or you just mean sacked?
No, not sacked. Sacked. He was sat down.
Because
he got benched.
At that point they were out the playoffs. It made sense to me. He's older, so you want to rest him. You don't want to rest him.
He needs to retire.
Well, I agree.
He got 2 rings.
I agree. But the point is, if you got the manager, the general manager of the team and stuff telling you we're not picking up a quarterback, he's going to be our quarterback. As the coach, that coach said, then I might as well bench him. And he even went to him and said, listen, I'll let you start the game but then I'm going to sit you down to preserve you. Eli took offense to that. He's like, no, if I'm going to start the game, I might as well finish the game. And then he just sat him completely, and he put Geno Smith in the game, which was stupid.
He wanted to make sure that if he got the interception record, no one else would touch it. So he played longer. He'd equal up to that.
It's not for the interception record. But so what do you think? I mean, I guess the Giants now are banking on Saquon Barkley and Sterling Shepard, the tight end, and Issa Force.
Let me say this: as a Cowboy fan,
make sure that's
as a Cowboy fan.
Just so y'all know,
I'm real happy with the OBJ.
Cowboy fan,
like that to me, that was a huge dumb decision. But what I'm happier about, so as a Cowboy fan, obviously, you know our history. So we take a lot of shit for not winning in a long time, blah blah blah. Even though Giant fans forget that it took them 21 years to get the ring, they talk about us like they got one the next day. No, it took you 21 years, bro. But anyway, as a Cowboy fan though, I love it because obviously, to me, arguably your best player, offensively, you got out the game with a quarterback who can't even fucking throw anymore. So the one person who could have caught that ball one-handed with no problem, you got rid of. So good job with that. But so I think that was crazy. I didn't see it happening overall. And then to me, the bank the future on what? With the first round, you're gonna hope to get a quarterback and let Eli train him. Eli's not that kind of guy. Eli's not gonna train no one. He's not Drew Bledsoe. Like he's not gonna train nobody.
Right.
He's gonna say, oh, this is how you get hit. This is how you get sacked. This is how you incorrectly throw a ball. So I think it was a dumb move overall. I don't get what happened. I don't get why it happened. It came out of nowhere. But what I love the most, and I've always told you this, to me, as a Cowboy fan, I honestly, like, at least me, I can speak for myself, I'm very humble overall. Like, I'm not gonna go blah, 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 this, that. Like, I know my team has been shit for years. I played with my team in Madden when they had a fucking 66 score ranking and they were terrible. So I believe, understand the pain.
Right.
But, you know what I mean? My thing is, I always say this, like, Giant fans are the saltiest fans in history. Like, for instance, like last year, they would lose to a random team, we would win, and they would put up a meme about the Cowboys. Like, nigga, worry about yourself. Your team literally just got their ass dusted. Like, it makes no sense, but they're so salty. So I found it equally funny that all my friends, all of them that were OBJ believers.
You know who you are?
Yeah. OBJ believers all the time. He makes a catch to this. He's your fucking messiah on your Instagram post. Literally, all you motherfuckers the next day. Oh, we didn't really need him. Oh, he's hurt the team. He was a prima donna. You fucking fake ass motherfuckers. You know damn well you hurt because you're like, yo, who am I throw the ball to? When Eli overthrows, there's no one to actually jump up crazy and catch it. Like, you guys are out of your mind. I didn't see it coming. It's a big deal. The Browns, though, like, the Browns have been the laughing stock in the NFL for the longest time. Like,
I mean, 0-16 seasons.
Like,
about 20 quarterbacks, right? 20 quarterbacks in like 5 years.
Future, like,
yeah,
but they actually
RG3,
like they arguably might be. I'm not gonna say a contender. I don't think they're there yet. But
I think
that
they're a
chemistry's
contender
right.
for
They might be.
Their division.
Yeah.
Because now their division, because the Steelers are going through some things. They lost Antonio Brown and Le'Veon Bell.
Big hit.
So the Steelers is in their division. The Bengals is in their division, who they should definitely take care of. The Ravens is probably the only ones that could still win that division, because they actually made some good moves and stuff too.
I do think it's the Browns for the taking. Like, like obviously because of my love for Ray Lewis, I'll go for the Ravens on this one. Shout out to Jarrett. But I do think the Browns actually should on paper. Now you hide in your trunk after you murder somebody. On paper, allegedly.
Well, no, he didn't hide in the trunk.
No,
it was Ray Caruth.
Did they find it in the trunk? I could have sworn
that was Ray Caruth. Ray Lewis was a witness. He got a whole other.
One of the Rays had a problem, but anyway. But I honestly see on paper, if the Browns don't take the division, then the trade was worthless. But it does hurt the Giants more, so I'm happy about that.
On paper, I do agree that the Browns look good. They have a young coach, and they have a pretty much young team. Baker Mayfield's what, second, third season?
Except for OBJ.
But he's like fifth, sixth season, and he's the vet.
The only thing that I'm curious about, which I feel like OBJ would have said something if so, I was wondering if, because remember he hurt his ankle real bad the other year, like maybe there was something medically, like, oh, maybe, he might not last, he might not be a franchise tag type player.
Well, he's never completed a full season yet.
But you have to release that kind of info. And I feel like OBJ would know, like, oh, I expected this because my thing, like.
Well, they do physicals and all that, but again, it's a risk you take when he hasn't completed a full season in his career, yet he's in top 5 in the categories. So that means he does double the work in less time.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, I'll never hate.
And again,
OBJ, phenomenal fucking player.
That could have been because of Eli. It could be he could have did better if it was a different quarterback. We don't.
Well, when you overthrow and you got to jump 10 feet in the air to grab that ball that should have been thrown correctly the first time, you land on your ankle wrong sometimes.
Well, we'll see now what he does with Baker Mayfield, who's in his, I believe, second or going into his second, third season. I forget. But we'll see now with Baker and Jarvis Landry, who they actually went to school together. So Odell and Landry are besties.
Yeah.
You know, they can dance together in the end zone. Let's see what happens when one is catching more than the other, or if that might make a thing.
I'm definitely have to see how it works out. I think that's a big move for the Browns.
Yeah.
The Browns have never been an arguer with a team where you're like, oh my god, they made a contender. So to have them as a contender, that's pretty cool. It shakes things up, makes things up.
But like you said, on paper they look good.
Yeah.
But this is why they play the game.
But being a Cowboy fan, we look good many years on paper, and we've done shit. So
that is very true.
You never know.
And my Niners ain't doing nothing, so we're not gonna talk about
But
that.
more importantly, usually I'm with him on the like, share, comment.
Yeah.
However, this time I screenshot the IG post. So before y'all come in with the comments, you Giant fans, I have y'all praising the man. I also have screenshots of y'all talking shit now.
But I mean, that's pretty much all I got on that. The season, free agencies just started. The draft is coming, so we'll see where the teams fall after that. But yeah, that Odell trade was like I didn't expect it. I mean,
I remember. Matter of fact, where was I? I was watching Captain Marvel. I got out the theater, and literally some crazy fan next to me or whatever is like, "Yo!" Like out of nowhere, just yelling, "Yo! The fucking Giants traded OBJ!" And then immediately my ESPN app goes, and I'm like, "Oh shit! Like who would have thunk?"
Yeah, I didn't see that one coming at all.
Great decision.
But forget what he said. Do comment. Do tell me what y'all think. If y'all feel it's Giant fans, if you feel it's gonna make you better, y'all banking on some draft picks, sure, let's see.
Just make sure that you don't say y'all make it better, and y'all commented before about OBJ being great, because my man does good research, and we'll just dig back in the past.
Keep the same energy. You know what I mean? Like, let's keep it the same. But also in this episode, like we said, it was a slow news week. Nothing crazy really happened. You went back to an older episode.
Oh yeah.
And felt the way about some things.
Yeah.
You watched the previous episode featuring the homie Steve, and his boy Martin, and you took offense to some things that Steve did and said.
Yeah. First of all, homie, put your damn sneakers on. You supposed to wear sneakers. There's no socks in 2021, alright? You gotta put your sneakers on. You gotta have your sneakers on. And I know you rock sneakers. You're a sneakerhead, bro. Like, come on, put some sneakers on. Get this socks out of here. Anyway, more importantly, okay. I'll start with the acting, right?
So he said the greatest actor of all time was Denzel Washington. Go.
My man. First of all, in my opinion, Denzel is Denzel in every movie. He doesn't change anything. There's nothing super special. He gets good roles thanks to an agent and being famous. So he does get key roles while he's a bigger figurehead in overall media. But my man, you out of your mind. First of all, he was gifted his Oscar for Training Day when it should have went to Will Smith for Ali. Everybody knows that. Ali gained weight, lost weight, learned how to box, grew his hair out, changed his accent, did everything he needs to do to win that movie. All Denzel did was put on a kufi and a gold chain and act like Denzel. So let's not start there. Anyway, who am a Denzel fan, I own tons of his movies. There's not one of his movies they're like, oh shit, like this guy. To me, the best acting he's ever done is probably Malcolm X. Or you could argue Glory a little bit. But acting wise, there's nothing really there where you're like, oh. And even like John Q, he's just an angry Denzel, but he's still Denzel. Like people remember John Q all the time, like that's the end all be all for his acting. No, he's still the same guy. Like if we changed it to like the MC universe and Denzel was Denzel Washington, you would believe it in every film. Like, oh yeah, that's the same guy. But now he's just Muslim, and now he's a bad gangster, and now he's the same person all the time. To me, he is the dark-skinned Tom Hanks. Like, shots at Tom Hanks. But no, I think Denzel is the same person in every film overall. I used to argue with Tyrone about this all the time because Tyrone swears the guy that Denzel's the best. So Ty knows that this has been my opinion for at least 12 years, 10 years. And again, I watch Denzel films all the time. I like Denzel films. But to say he's the greatest of all time, that's a far reach. There's a ton of actors that are way above that list before you even get to Denzel's name.
So if you had to pick one, who would you say is your greatest of all time actor?
That's so hard. For me personally, it's probably Jack Nicholson, but it's arguable. It's arguable.
Jack Nicholson.
It's arguable, bro. He was killing movies back in the day. Departed was 10 years ago. He still killed his role acting. Another one changed. Like he has crazy range. But when I judge an actor, when I'm talking like greatest of all time, I judge on the types of films you do.
Okay.
You know, how far range you go, you change. I'm not saying like Denzel has to go and do a Disney film or a horror film, even though he technically kind of did a horror film. But I'm not saying he has to do that kind of shit. I'm just saying that I do your range. So like, for instance, to me, someone like Johnny Depp, who can go from such a serious dramatic role like Donnie Brasco or something like that to something like Sweeney Todd or fucking Alice in Wonderland, that's range. That's something completely different where he becomes the character, he embodies the character. That's acting to me. Jack Nicholson, same thing. Like, you know, just to see him change and, you know, he changes who he is completely. You can't tell me that Jack Nicholson in fucking Anger Management is the same Jack Nicholson you saw in Batman and the same Jack Nicholson you saw in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest and the same Jack Nicholson you saw in Shining. They're not. They're very similar. In my opinion.
They're very similar.
I disagree. 100% disagree. So
here's Johnny.
The only thing that's the same is the grin. I mean, he can't change that unless he gets cosmetic surgery. He can't change that. That's like saying someone's teeth are the same in every movie. Like you can't really change that.
You can
unless you CGI it.
Remy Malek had different teeth in Bohemian Rhapsody.
Those teeth look terrible.
But go ahead.
Let me not start on that either, because you know my man Bradley Cooper should have had that. But anyway, more importantly, even Sam Jack, who don't get enough love, like we were talking about this, you know, on the side real quick. Like Samuel Jackson, he gets shit on a lot because he does take so many different roles. Yeah. But if you actually put his actual acting roles up there, Sam Jack can fucking act his ass off. Yeah. Fucking Sam Jack is definitely up there. I personally have Will Smith over Denzel when it comes to actual acting and acting range. And again, I think he should have took it for Ali. I think Ali was definitely the better film of 2002. I think his acting and what he did, because as an actor, again, when you invest your time, when you gain weight, you work out, you learn how to box, you do a setup, you live the man's life kind of thing. So similar to like Ray doing Ray Charles, blowing his eyes closed. That was that was the story behind it. Supposedly to see what it was like to be blind.
Jamie Foxx?
Yeah, allegedly. That was the story. That was the whole story behind the myth thing. Like he tried to do that. But when you do something like that to change the character, really learn who the character is, like to me that means a lot more. So you know, that kind of, and it's important. Obviously, you know, you care about your method. Someone like a Joaquin Phoenix, for instance, another amazing actor, another amazing method actor. So to me, that, and I just don't think Denzel has it. And not my biggest argument. One of the things I always say about the Denzel thing is like, for instance, we're the Titans. My man plays a coach from down south. Where's his accent at? Where is the accent? You can't even give me an accent, Denzel? And you want me to be the greatest of all time? You couldn't even give me an accent. You're the same person all the time. Like literally, if you took clips of Denzel in every different, like 10 different movies, you put them together, and just the clips and hearing it, you would think it's the same film because nothing changes. His tone, his range, he's the same person. So that's my thing. That's my quick on Denzel overall.
That was what I said. I said the same thing. You know, and even when Steve did the voice, he was literally the same voice. You can put that same voice and same reenactment in every Denzel
movie. If you take a Denzel interview and you play it quietly over the backdrop of a good dubbed Denzel movie, you would assume it's to say, that's the right words for that movie. Right. Because again, Robert Downey Jr. another one with crazy range. Yeah. That just reminded me, another one with crazy range. Fucking two guys and a girl, two guys in a pizza place, or whatever, and a girl. Like that film. Overall, to Chaplin. No, not that one. He was in the end credits for that one. Different. And then Chaplin, and then you go to something like Gattaca, and then you go to something like Martin, you know, Robert and Sherlock Holmes,
Tropic Thunder.
Tropic Thunder, like Tropic Thunder alone, he played like
he was the dude playing it, dude disguised as dude.
But so,
and then he played a Tibetan dude as he was the black dude playing the dude. Like he was.
So it's completely different overall. But so in my opinion, you know, that's where you go with that. Again, it's just my opinion. I can't prove that Denzel's not the greatest. Like you can't prove he is the greatest. But I feel like you definitely misspoke with your madness about that, because Denzel, like, he's the same in every fucking film. Ty, I know you don't have Instagram, so I know you're gonna come at me through the YouTube comments. Feel free, all right? But you know of all people that you can defend me on this. This has been my argument against Denzel for like 10, 11 years. Like, it's not like it's a brand new thing. Someone finally said it on here, and I was like, I disagree. And then musically, I had two. I'm gonna touch on the first one first. Okay. One of them, I don't think this was Steve. I think it was his man. One of them said Big Pun was overrated.
You're telling me because Big died, murdered by the way, he didn't fucking get killed like Big Pun eating Big Macs and shit. He was murdered.
Watch him out.
Yeah, that's right. I'm talking shit about Big Pun. Another overrated motherfucker. Yeah, that's right. He said that. I'm shooting all the shots, bro. Okay.
And this is not because I'm Puerto Rican and not because, you know, I used to be big like Big Pun. It's because lyrically, I think he gets the respect he deserves. I feel like he's there. I think he sits there like no one. I've never seen no one put him at the top of the list. I've had the top 5 conversation with a million people. I had top 10 conversations. I had top 20 conversations with you. I've never seen Pun on a top 20 MC list because, you know, short discography. That's a big thing right there. And then the fact that, like, you know, with MC, there's a lot of pieces that partake into MC, which I think the problem is a lot of people don't realize the definition of MC. So when you say, like, you know, this person's the best of all time, this person's the best time, what are you adding to it? Are you talking about consistency? Are you talking about number of albums, classic albums, hits? You know, sales does matter a little bit. Your ability to move the crowd, original material, you know, context, content, all that stuff matters. So I don't think anyone puts Pun up there. So I don't think to say he's overrated, I think it's kind of ridiculous because no one puts him up in that category. But when it comes to lyricists, your favorite rapper puts him in that fucking list. Like, are you like, yeah, you like, Pun is there when it comes to lyricists, 100%. And I honestly think lyrically, a lot of motherfuckers from the past to this day can't lyrically fuck with Pun. If you analyze his lyrics, which, like, in a segment I know you want to do some bar stuff that we talking about. One of the first one I'm gonna use
bars. Coming to.
I'm gonna use Pun from one of the first ones because he has a certain verse that's spit after one of his most famous verses. And I think because his first verse was so good, no one paid attention to the lyrics in his first one. Like in the second verse, he kills that verse. But anyway, people can't fuck with Pun when it came to that lyrical style plus that flow. It just is unheard of. People had crazy amount of lyrics, no flow. People had that flow, no lyrics. He definitely intertwined that and did an amazing job with it. Not many rappers could do that on that lyrical flow.
Did he cheat his flow because it was like pieced together because he couldn't breathe and do it whole? Because, you know, they said in the studio.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Yeah,
100%.
he kind of cheated because he would do a bar. Stop.
Yeah, 100%. That's the reason why the MC thing. So anyway, like for MC, you gotta be to rock a crowd. He couldn't do a live show. He would do, like, for instance, Cuban Link would do the whole beginning of Deep Cover, and then Pun would go dead in the middle, little Italy, little we know what it to middle man who didn't do diddly, and then leave it alone. And then Cuban Link would say, those rest of the parts while he's sitting down breathing. Again, he was a big dude, understood, but at the same time, you put yourself in a predicament, so therefore, as an MC, you lose points for that part of the thing. That's like, in the beginning, Jay-Z used to get shit all the time because he was boring on his stage. He learned,
he would just stand,
but he got shit for it, but that's his fault. Learn how to dance, do your Dame Dash, like, do something. But, you know, but that was his fault in the beginning. Jay learned, though. Jay evolved. Unfortunately, Pun passed, he couldn't do it or whatever. So, but no, I feel he's there. He gets exactly the love he deserves. Not too much, not too little. He gets tons of love for lyricists. He gets almost no love for MC, which I agree with overall. I don't think, you know, even if he had lived longer, MC wise, his content was in one particular place, and his second album wasn't that great. It was good. Good to listen to, had some hits.
I like Yeah Baby,
but it wasn't.
I like Yeah Baby.
But it was a good '90s album. But it doesn't hold its time. To me, Capital Punch still holds its time. To me, Capital Punch is a classic album, and I feel like there's a lot of rappers nowadays that are idolized that don't have classic albums, especially Drake. I know y'all mentioned this already. Like, to me, Drake doesn't have a classic album at all. He would have to, as he said himself, he would have to make like a greatest hits to make a classic album. He doesn't have a classic album. All his albums, every single one of Drake's albums falls short. They're either the middle needs to get cut, the beginning needs to get cut, or the end needs to get cut. He does not own a classic. Drake doesn't have a classic, which is a damn shame because he's a big celebrity, he's a big star, and he has what, like 8 albums, 7 albums, 10 albums,
something like that, about 6, 7.
With that kind of discography, with having no classic
playlists
albums,
and mixtapes, and, you know,
having no classic albums. So you know, to say he's overrated, I think is crazy. Then the other thing was Fab. I don't even get where this came from because Fab's another one who no one puts on their list for top of all time. But Fab gets the love he deserves. Mixtape Fab is definitely better than album Fab. I give you that. But Mixtape Fab, Summertime Shootout 1 and 2, he's dropping fucking bars. Fab is one of the ones that have consistently give you metaphors. Unlike, like, to me, Lloyd Banks was one of the big ones too. Lloyd Banks had a middle where he fell off. His last album, his retirement album or mixtape, what you want to call it, he killed it. This thing was bars. And his first, but in the middle, he was kind of like, But Fab is someone who, from the first fucking professional Clue tape that you heard him spit to his last shit you heard him spit, he drops bars. He has metaphors. He has lyrics. His flow's always been ridiculous. You can't fuck with Fab's flow. I personally am a huge Fab fan overall. I love Mixtape Fab. For, like, to the Soul tape and Summertime Shootout 1 are better than a lot of niggas' albums. So, like, I don't know where that came from at all. Like, that shit drove me crazy. And then the last one, I'm going to touch on a little bit because, as you know, we have plans to do a segment called Unpopular Opinion, and this will be my first episode based on this subject, so I'm going to touch on a little bit. But on the Biggie thing, not only do I think that you're crazy with the Biggie thing, but I also don't think Big is even top 5 of all time. At all. When it comes to MC. I'm not talking about storytelling. I'm not talking about as a lyricist, the individual categories. I'm talking as a complete package MC. Big is definitely not top 5 MC. at all. Forget number one. Get that the fuck out of here. He's not a top 5 MC. And on top of him not being a top 5 MC, much like the pun being broken up and stopped, it's broken up spot. In my opinion, which I'll touch on more with actual fucking statistics, my opinion is with Big. I did my work. My opinion with Big is that he is also not an industry plant, but he was manufactured. His style, his love, the Biggie that you know, his style came from Pac, and his flow and design overall came from the production of Bad Boy. With no Puff Daddy, you have a nice, phenomenal 16-bar rapper. With Puff Daddy, you have a megastar who puts his hits like Juicy. The Biggie you know would have never done Juicy, so the Biggie you know would have never existed.
And I believe
as far as being that big,
he didn't like Juicy when he heard it.
Yeah, because it wasn't his style. I'm not comparing the two lyrically, but in my opinion, it's equivalent of a 16-bar rapper like a Papoose, who they're nice, but without the right production behind them, will never be shit. Biggie, nice. He could spit, storytell, phenomenal. He was in there. He did the whole, I'm a pretty for ugly big dude, which honestly was Pac inspiration, and Pac inspired fully, giving him that love and giving him that confidence. He didn't have that confidence before. He knew he was an ugly motherfucker. He didn't think he was pretty. That Versace shit was all Pac. So you gotta give Pac the love for that in the first place, because he helped birth your man style, your quote unquote greatest of all time. Then, on top of that, album wise, with no Puff Daddy, again, you don't have the same Big that we have now. You still have a raw rapping ass nigga, but you don't have the same Biggie that you know and love. You don't have the hypnotized Biggie. You don't have the fucking juicy Biggie. You don't have the sky's the limit Biggie. You don't have that Bad Boy Puff Daddy influence. He manufactured that. You know what I mean? It's not the same. When you look at someone, like like Dre with Eminem, or Eminem with 50 Cent, or you look at those that weren't manufactured. You critique, you move things around. His complete style was this person, and then Puff Daddy. If you listen to pre-spitting Big, it was this person. And then you got Puffy, the whole new reimagined. I'm a pretty boy, Big Mac, Craig Mack, you have a different artist completely. That was manufactured. Again, not an industry plant, but for the 90s version, probably the closest thing you have to someone who's manufactured for this game. You took a nice rapper who's fucking gifted, and you gave him a good platform by having great production, great beat selection, and you forced him to do certain hits. Because again, he wasn't a fan of Juicy. Right. So it would have got, it just wouldn't have been there. Right. As far as album legacy, there's so much things I could touch on, but because of the Unpopular Opinion episode coming soon, I'm not gonna turn it too long. But you stay tuned to that. The only thing I ask, just like the Unpopular Opinion episode, with this, when you do comment, come out with some facts, come out with some stories, understand where I'm coming from, listen to his music, and understand the breakthrough. Because if like with any opinion, you never have to agree with me. That's fine. But if you don't open your eyes to the subject I'm talking about to at least see where I'm coming from, we'll never have a thing. Same thing with you. I can see where you're coming from. I disagree because of my reasons I put it out. But I can see where you're coming from, even though you didn't have sneakers on. So that's my point. That's why I'm going there. Waiting for that Unpopular Opinion episode coming soon. It's gonna be something I do weekly with things that, in my opinion, are popular opinions that I don't agree with. Just because I love to argue, so I can't wait to see who comments. Tyrone, I'm waiting for you, bro. You gotta do an episode. Come on, make it happen. Act like you never come to New York again.
You good? You got everything off your chest?
I'm good. I got sneakers on.
No doubt. You want to shout out Fila?
Nah, we classic Filas though. They shit.
You're right. They cut the check. We're not even gonna say who that is. You want
to block the logo?
Yeah. Blur all that out.
Shout out to my low lives.
Yeah. Manny. Yeah, all that good stuff. But that's pretty much all we got for this. Like I said, slow news week, so we just found something to talk about. My voice is all screwed up, but again, had to make sure to get the content for y'all because I look forward to it every week. Right here, 2021 Vision on YouTube, SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play, everywhere. Shout out to all my subscribers. Shout out to the new subscribers just got here. Welcome. Go back to the catalog, watch it all over. Shout out to everybody that's been here for long time supporters. You definitely appreciate it. Before we go, do want to say rest in peace to the victims of the massacre out in New Zealand. Definitely. You know what I'm saying? It's always terrible when you hear stuff like that goes on. Anybody else that lost anybody during this week's last episode of stuff, you know what I'm saying? Rest in peace to y'all. Not just what makes the news, but anybody in their personal life. Tell your people you love that you love them. You know what I mean? Appreciate every moment, because a lot of times we don't get to reflect.
The flowers to smell them.
Right. So don't wait till they're gone. Do it while they're here. Let everybody know that that you appreciate them. You know what I mean? Like I said, I appreciate everybody that watches, and I appreciate everybody's support. everybody that's always down with me. Shout out, you know, Big John. You know, you always been there for. You gonna be hand.
I appreciate it. I didn't see the hand there.
You know what I mean? But
there's a height difference. I didn't see the hand.
it's split up here.
Right, there we go. There we go.
But other than that, think we're good for this.
Yep.
Class is always in session. You know what I mean? Comment. He said a lot. So whether you agree, disagree, let him know how you feel. You know, like it. Just hit the little thumb. Let me know you was here. You know what I mean? Subscribe so you don't miss anything, because Unpopular Opinion is coming. Other you know, shows are gonna be coming soon as well. So when you subscribe, hit that bell so you're notified. As soon as I upload it, it's gonna let you know.
Look out for that bar exam, man. I'm hyped for that. I can't wait.
Yes, sir.
And one of my benefits to me of that bar exam thing is that like other people who defend artists, like, you know, anyone, Drake, Kodak Black, like any artist that you this is your chance to be like, yo, nah, listen to these bars, look what they spit, and like, oh, they were actually saying something. Because there are some times where there's artists that I used to shit on,
right,
and then now I listen to him like, oh, he actually was spitting some shit.
Right.
I just give him love because of whatever happened at the moment.
Right. And that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna break down bars. You know, like I said, I'm gonna go a little further later, let everybody know what the show is. But basically, we're gonna examine, you know, some people's favorite verses from some of their favorite artists, or just somebody they like, but a verse that stood out to them. We're gonna break it down line by line. You know, see what it meant, see what it is with it, because you know what I'm saying. It's something. I mean, it's been done before, but we're gonna put the 2020 visions. You know, put the little style on it. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
But you gotta subscribe. You gotta hit the bell. So as soon as it's uploaded, as soon as it's coming, you will know. All right. And on that note, we out of here.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the show, hit the like button. Share it. Tell your friends about it. Let them know what's going on. Also, hit subscribe and the bell to be notified when new content is loaded, because there's much, much more to come.